here in what's supposed to be sunny California, but we have a very, very gloomy day today. So we want to hear where you're all tuning in from. You know, this is super exciting for us. We always get so excited to connect with the Nordstrom customer. So thank you all for joining Nordstrom today. And I see quite a few people are logging in. Wanted to let you guys know today we're talking about eyes, everything about eyes, you know, whether it's clean everyday eyes or stepping it up a notch in a very clean and easy way. So we'll be sharing tips. We've come with our complexion today to just kind of like walk you through what it's like getting ready with Westman Atelier products.
I know,
And
we
we
can't
love
wait. We also have a fun new launch to talk to you guys about, which we are absolutely thrilled about, that we just launched our new I Want You eye pencil, or I Love You eye pencils, in brown and black. So we're
yes.
super excited to be able to have this amazing new category for eyes.
Absolutely. And we love your participation. So be sure to comment, you know, ask your questions. We have our Westman Atelier team answering questions in the chat. And just so that you guys know, this is a live shoppable event. So you can, you know, go into the chat, you'll get a link that shows all the products that we're talking about. So you can click on the item and it'll show you the full range of color. And really over the next, you know, 30 minutes or so, we'll be talking about Westman Atelier as a brand, kind of like what was the inspiration behind the brand. Of course, showcasing the new product that Denise just mentioned, our new I Want You pencils, and our beautiful iPods and other eye products that that kind of pull the look all together. So
I'm so
Denise, you want
excited.
to kick it off talking a little bit about Westman Atelier?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to. So for those of you that are new to the brand or who have never tried this beautiful brand, Westman Atelier really is a new standard of luxury and clean beauty, and truly is a revolution for clean innovation. We really are that breakthrough for pro artistry brands because we have Gucci Westman as our founder. So Gucci Westman, for those of you that don't know, she's been dubbed the queen of clean beauty, and she's the #1 editorial makeup artist out there, you know, with over 20 years of experience in the industry. She's really just so incredible. For those of you that follow her, or if you want to know more about her, you'll see she's actually in Italy right now with Anne Hathaway on a shoot. So she's super busy doing that, but she really does, when she speaks about the brand, you know, she really believes that clean beauty, that it isn't a trend, that it's like a mission born out of her passionate belief that we all deserve to know that what we're putting in and on our bodies is clean and is safe. So Gucci herself actually grew up on an ashram. That's actually how she got her name. Her Hindu name was Guru Charan, and they just always called her Gucci. So that's where the name Gucci stemmed from. So, you know, I know that, you know, there's so much more awareness of clean beauty right now, but it really did stem from, you know, this passionate belief that Gucci has. But she definitely believes in that 80-20 balance. But we're super excited to talk to you guys more about these innovative, clean, beautiful products. So without further ado, do we want to let's do some makeup.
Yeah, let's do some makeup. I know
Yeah.
everyone's like, give us the makeup. Okay, so really before you get into eyes, a really great trick that I've learned, you know, throughout the years, and Gucci finds eyebrows to be so impactful when you're doing eye makeup, is really starting with brows, because sometimes, you know, it frames the face. It also gives so much strength to the eye that sometimes it'll help balance, you know, how much eye makeup or where that placement's going to be. So I'm going to actually start with brow, and we have this beautiful Bone Brow eye defining pencil. It's cool because you have a tool built in. So we have a spoolie on one side. It is a dry spoolie so that you can use it truly
So
to
clever.
groom and to fix. And then on the other side, you have your color. Denise, what shade are you using
I'm
today?
going to be using the shade Slate. And again, starting with blending through my brow. And then Gucci's technique on brows is really to create the most natural looking brow that you can, right? That just right brow. So I'm going to go in, and just where I need a little bit extra, you want to make like hair-like strokes versus just horizontally filling in, you know? So if you're making those hair-like strokes just where you need them, you'll have a brow that is very balanced and not too heavy. So for me, With my brow, I really just need a little bit more at the head of the brow and then just a little bit at the tail end. So again, I'm using the shade Slate, and then going back through, you'll always see Gucci kind of go back through and blend out again so that there's no harsh lines or edges, but even just that little tiny bit made such a big difference. And
It really
yeah,
does.
what shade are you
I'm
using?
using I'm using bark. Although I have dark hair, got a little highlight, so I like to add a little bit more warmth into my hair. And
Mhm.
same, I've always had really strong eyebrows, and sometimes when you have really strong eyebrows, you're like, I don't know, do I need to fill it in? But I think the
Right,
beauty of this is that really Gucci made this so that it truly looked like brow hair, right?
right,
So even the shape of the pencil, it's almost like a sword shape, so that you're able to get these really easy feather-like strokes, and you're not like coloring, you're not coloring in, you're really wisping hairs where you
right.
feel like you need a little bit more fullness. And it's just so easy to use. That's one thing I feel like a lot of customers are like, it's so easy. You don't have to like pull or tug at the eyebrow to apply it. So
That's the
really easy. I think we've framed the eyes.
Yep, that's the biggest thing because there's so many times you want to go and fill in your brow, but you need every single brow hair that you have. So with this one,
Yeah,
the formulation is so creamy that it'll just glide on. So you get to keep all of your, I need all of them.
keep
So you get to
every
keep
single one of them.
every single one of your brows.
Okay, so the next tip is when you're going in to do eyeshadow, using your brow shape is actually super helpful too. So I'm going in, we're going to be showing you guys Rendezvous, our iPods, if you've not seen them. How cute and chic
And
and
fun.
fun are
Ah,
these?
they're
They're the
magnetic,
cutest.
stackable pods.
I know. So she really took like a fresh perspective on eye palettes and made these like really great stackable magnetic pods. So you can use them all together. You can use one at a time. I'm going to be using Frappe, which is this really beautiful kind of minky brown tone that's really just easy to use every single day. This texture is so unique. It's not quite a powder or a cream. It's something right in between. And using your brush, I'm using the eyeshadow brush one because I want to get like a little more pigment payoff. I'm going to just dip it right into the pod. And a really good tip, these pods, because they are a mixture of cream and powder, you want to just like play with the texture a little bit to kind of get into that bouncy pigment. And then it just glides right on. And you can use your eyebrow shape to actually apply your eyeshadow. So make sure that, you keep it a little bit, you keep the length or the width between your brow and your eyeshadow. It really helps so that it doesn't close your eye out. So you can almost go up with the shape of your brow
Mhm.
and then keep it nice and tapered in the front.
That's such a good tip. And I wanted to speak to you guys on, so Deanna and I are both using the same eyeshadow palette, but we're doing it in different ways so that you can really see the versatility of these iPods. So I'm going in with the lightest shade named Bisou. It's that beautiful kind of peachy pinky champagne tone. And I also using the eyeshadow brush one, just went all over the lower lid so that I really have that nice brightness and that openness on the lower lid. So again, the beauty of these palettes is that there's no rule of how you can use them, where you can put them. They're so easy to apply and blend onto the
And
eyes.
I love the texture. So I don't know if you
Oh,
guys
me
can see on
too.
my hand. It really is, it's like a buildable color. So you have this really pretty kind of like luminous but skin-like finish where it's not just pigment that sits on the skin, it really kind of becomes part of your skin. And it just leaves this gorgeous, like luminous glow to the eye. All right, so you used Bisou for a nice brightening effect. I
Yep.
used the Frappe for like this like soft brown tone. Now, shall we go in with some pencil? Because I
Yes.
know
Oh my
everybody is
gosh.
looking for some
I am
pencil.
so excited that now we actually have a pencil in the brand. And like we were saying earlier, this one comes in a noir and a brun. So we've got a brown, we've got a black, whatever you need. I'm going to be going with a little bit more of kind of that light, everyday brightened eye. And Deanna's going to go a little bit deeper. So I'm actually going to be using the shade Brun, and I'm going to go in and just create a nice clean line at my lashes and then just gently smudge it out.
And I'll be using the Noir. I like to keep it nice and dark at my lash line to get, the most out of it. We'll be showing you a couple different ways. So first, if you like a more defined look, the nice thing is that you can use a nice sharpened tip. Gucci talks often about like really just getting it like into those eyelashes. I always like to share the tip to use a small mirror to apply it rather than going
Yep.
right into your like larger mirror so that your eyes relaxed, you're looking down and you're really able to get right into the eyelash. And don't try to do one long swoop. That's where many mistakes
Or pull your
happen.
eye over,
So
like do it with your eye open and don't tug on
mhm,
your eyelid, because then you won't lose the shape
absolutely.
of the eye.
Absolutely. Now, I think one of the questions that tend to come up often is like, how do I end it? If I don't want it to be like a winged liner, how do I end my eyeliner? And a really great tip is to just when your eyes open and straight, just see kind of where the end of the eye goes out to the end of your eyebrow and think of that as like your guide to end the eyeliner so that it's not such a blunt line. And the nice thing is because these are so safe and the ingredients are clean, you can actually pop this right into the waterline as well. So I like to just make sure that I'm keeping it really close to the eyelashes rather than just like, you know, always rimming the whole entire waterline. You can just keep it nice close to the lashes for like a really clean, defined eyelash look. Ooh,
So
that looks so
pretty.
pretty, Denise.
Right? It's just so clean and simple and easy, good for every day. We did have a question about what we had used on our faces, because I know we came in gonna do eyes, but for those of you that were curious, we're gonna get into some complexion products, so we'll review that once we've done eyes. We'll review because we're gonna add a little bit to the face as well. And with a reminder, with our iPods, we have 3 different colorways of these palettes. So we have Les Nuits, we have Le Jour, and then we have Rendezvous. So though we're both showcasing Rendezvous, we do have 3 other palettes, iPod palettes. So depending on skin tone, depending on the style and what types of tones you like, you'll definitely be able to find something. So this is just a really pretty, again, like what Deanna was saying, just like a brightened, simple, clean eye, but I am then gonna step it up a notch. So again, if I was just quick, fast, 2 minutes, I'm good to go. My eyes are brightened. I could throw on mascara and call it a day. But I am going to go in with a little bit of the shade Frappe, and I'm going to bring a little bit of that into the crease of my eye with our eyeshadow brush 2. So eyeshadow brush 2 is going to be more of a dome shaped brush and really great for blending. So I'm going to go in, add a little bit of dimension into the crease of the eye, again, kind of keeping the eye open so that I can see the shape of the eye on where I want to give myself that extra depth and dimension.
And then I'm going to add dimension with layering more of my pencil. So one of the cool things about this Kajal almost like texture, it's super creamy, it glides, there's no skip. So you can truly create like a smoky liner look in seconds. So I can take my existing line that I just did, and then I can just layer a little bit more on the top. You don't have to worry about it being perfect for that second layer, because what I'll do is take that same brush and then smoke it out. So the same little brush that we did, I can just go right over it and almost pull upward, and it creates this really beautiful smoky eye effect. And then you can intensify it just depending on, what your liking is.
That's so pretty. And that was such a great point of using like that eyeshadow brush 1 to smudge out the liner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same eyeshadow brush 1, but I'm also going to go into Frappe, and I'm going to use this darker shade Frappe underneath my lash line as my eyeliner so that I'm still lining my under eye, still getting that shape. but keeping it a little bit softer. A lot
Mhm.
of times, we'll get questions about, should I line on the bottom? Is it good or is it bad? And what I will tell you that it is totally personal preference. However, I do feel like even a soft line of liner under the eye can actually open the eye up, because you're really then able to showcase the full shape of the eye. So I find that even just that small, lightly lined look underneath the lash line can make the eye look so much bigger.
Yeah, and I always like to show kind of like a comparison, like a before and after, like what the different shapes that eyeliner will make. Like if you look
Right?
at my eye,
Wow.
I've
It looks
I've
so
now
beautiful.
I created like a smoky look just by adding the eyeliner, and it creates like a
Wow.
whole different vibe,
Yeah.
different dimension, like,
Yeah.
going to brunch and then like going out, but
Yeah.
in such an easy way with still those same two products,
And
which is
again,
really cool.
even though you lined underneath and on top, your eye looks so big. I think that there's a
Mhm.
misconception that lining all around the eye can make the eye look really small. But I think it's really in just the application and making sure that that you have heavier liner on the top. So you're still getting that lift. Looks so
Yep.
beautiful. So
And then you
beautiful.
can kind of again like play up whatever the intensity that you like. A really nice little tip too, the Bisou that is in this little trio is really great to add like a little bit of dimension. Like I can add a little bit in the center of the eye to get some dimension. I like to even maybe in the inner corner. Gucci has a really cool tip about almost adding some to the outer corner to give a
Mhm.
nice little
To
lift. And
lift.
then it just really kind of like, yeah, finishes that look. So
Mhm.
again, like super easy, clean eye. And if you were to do this, add mascara, it would look very complete, whether you're going with like a real clean look or,
Mhm.
a more dramatic look.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of mascara, while you even out your other eye, I can start on mascara because we have our amazing brush. So again, I've seen a couple of questions. So to review brushes really quick while Deanna's evening herself out, the brushes that we've talked about and used today are the eyeshadow brush one, and it's going to be more of that medium flat kind of tapered brush so that you can go in with, for me, I went in with that Bisou, that lighter shade, and laid it directly on that lower lid. So this one's great used flat when you're really wanting to give that color all over. And then you can use it on its side going in with that deeper color so that you can get that nice tapered, smudge at the lash line as well. So that is eyeshadow brush one. And then eyeshadow brush two is going to be your blending brush. That is what we use to bring that color up into the crease, to blend out. It really helps to soften. So that's a little review on brushes. And another tip too, we've found that with these eye pencils, if you layer them on the lower lid first and then apply your eyeshadow over top, it actually helps to create a longer wear. So we found that, for me, if
Mhm.
I wanted a smokier eye, I could take that brown all the way on my lower lid and then layer frappe on top. So we do find that layering the iPods over the pencils really also helps to create a longer wear for the iPods.
Yeah, absolutely. So someone asked, is this water resistant? It is not water resistant. However, like Denise just mentioned, you could layer this underneath as like a really nice base and then layer your shadow on top for better wearability, for longer wearability.
Mhm.
But it does have like all day, it does have an all day wear. It's not going to be long wearing, but it does have an all day wear, and gives just really beautiful dimension. However, because it is that clean formula and kind of that creamy, floaty, not so much a graphic eyeliner, you're going to
Right.
get a little bit more of that kind of, lived in, floaty look,
Right.
which is
Absolutely.
really pretty.
Absolutely. And for our different color options, we have the Le Nuit, which is going to be if you're wanting those deeper, more sumptuous and deep tones. And then our Le Jour iPod palette is going to be a little bit more kind of warm golden browns. And Gucci considers Rendezvous to
Yeah.
be like an earthy and whimsical color palette. So those are the review on our iPod palettes. And then I'm going to go in with our I Love You mascara. First off, how beautiful and chic is this packaging of the I Love You mascara? It is
So
so
good.
amazing. And the wand is so fantastic. I have to tell you guys a little secret. So Gucci actually went through 42 line trials on this wand before she found the perfect wand, because you could have a great formula, but you also have to have a great tool. So when you're applying your mascara, just as Deanna had shared about getting into the lash line with your eye pencil, you really want to make sure that you're getting into the base of the lashes with your mascara. Almost like, you know, if you were giving a blowout on your hair, you know, you don't start at the ends, you start at the root and really get that volume, kind of roll and twist your wand up.
And another cool tip that I like to share always is that think of your eyelashes, you know, it's three-dimensional. So rather than just doing this over and over, think of it like get the inner corners and roll it towards your nose, like inward. The center of it, roll it and comb it out so that it almost like fans the eyelashes and you're not left with all the lashes kind of like going in one direction.
Exactly.
I love the fact that this formula, it does give you like almost that instant volume, ultra black inky pigment, and it has almost like it holds the curl really nicely too. And it just gives a super voluminous lash look for, I mean, major intensity, which is great. And you'll probably see it slightly a little bit more maybe on Denise, because I do have the more smoky eyeliner where you're going to see the length, but it gives such a
Such a big
beautiful
difference.
volumized lash.
Such a
Yeah,
big difference
absolutely.
from side to side. Oh, and
Yeah.
speaking of a blowout, we had a very cute question and comment from someone that our hair looked amazing. So thank you.
Oh,
That's very
thank
nice.
you.
That's very nice of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Remember, always start from the root to
Right?
get that volume,
Right?
whether it's your hair or it's your eyelashes.
Exactly.
Now, you know, mascara, so really all we have shown you guys with the eyes is really it's about defining the eyebrow to get the right shape so that when you actually are applying eyeshadow you have like a really nice shape to follow. Move on to like you could do just a nice simple, we did it one shadow on the lower lid, whether it's a little bit more of a brightening shadow like Denise put on, or you know, a medium shadow across the lower lash line. Gucci really likes to focus on having that deepest shade, you know, closest to the eyelashes, because she says that's what really kind of like pulls out the color of your eyes. So really kind of like and fading them up, and you can play around with the different pods, you can layer them, you can use, you know, some different eyeliners, whether it be the brown or the black, but it's just super easy. And like if I were to say, okay, I went a little bit bold so that I could show you guys that you can get a dramatic look, and I wanted to soften the look, I could truly just go back with that blender and soften the look slightly just to take it down a notch. They're just so easy. I think that's one of the things is that I feel like people kind of like got away from eye makeup and got
Right.
away from eyeliner because it was like, it's such a pain, or like I can't do that. You
Right.
can
Or
do
that
it
there's
with these
rules, like where do
products.
I have to put that one, or where do I have to put that one? And there's no rules. That's the beauty of it, is that you don't have any rules. And what I also love about the formulation of our iPods is that it isn't that crazy graphic eye. It is more of that kind of lived in, you know, editorial look, which is great. And then whenever I'm done, which I'm loving this look. I'm loving the liner and the definition on the eyes, but I do want to add a little bit of brightness underneath the eye to kind of amplify it just a little bit. So we can talk about how we prepped our skin for a little. So we
Yes.
actually started taking it all the way back with our newest product is our amazing skin activator serum. So I prepped my skin with this using 2 to 3 pumps all over the face.
I did too. I did skin activator. And then Denise and I, like, I want like, give me all the moisture, give me the glow. I want my skin like super glowy and I'm dry. And Denise is kind of like in between. So you used the stick foundation
Yep.
today. I used the Vital Skincare Complexion drops, which give just like a little bit more of a radiance. Because I want all things glow in my life.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna actually I feel like now that we've done this though, we definitely need more color because I came on
Yes.
with like my basics. Now I've got like a going out eye. I
Yep.
want I'm gonna do a little bit more coverage right in through this area. Oh, one thing we didn't mention that's really cool and unique about our eyeshadows, there's zero fallout. So there's no, you're not going to get, you know, sometimes you do shadow and then it just trickles onto your cheek. You're not going to get that with this product. It makes it super easy that you get, you know, at the end, you can first do your complexion, put your eyeshadow on, and you're not going to get any mess underneath your eye.
Which is,
What shade are you right now
so I'm using
in
Atelier 7.
foundation?
I'm using Atelier 7 in foundation for my concealer. I used 9 on my face, but you want to remember that when you're doing the under eye or when you're wanting a little bit of brightening, you want to go 1 to 2 shades lighter and brighter. So look at even just the difference of how adding a little bit more of that 7 like gave me such a lift under my eyes.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
definitely needed that.
That's
What
amazing. I'm
shades are you
using
wearing?
right now for the Vital Skincare Complexion Drops, which by the way, if you guys haven't tried this,
My gosh,
put that thing in your
holy
bag.
grail.
That is amazing. It is so beautiful. Like it's just like it's like a marriage between like a tint and a foundation and in your skincare, and it does so much. You need so little, and it does so much for your skin. So that's amazing. I'm using Atelier 7 in the Vital Skincare Complexion Drops. And then I'm using 6 in the
Okay.
stick simply because I've got a lot going on with the eye. I don't want to go too bright under the eye. And I love, is it Celia said, what are like your 2 must-have purse items? And I'm about to show you because these little sticks, these 3 sticks, these are your must-haves, like your must-have purse item.
Truly.
You
Truly,
know,
truly.
and it's really what Westman Atelier I think is mostly well known for is we have our lit up highlight sticks, which are absolutely gorgeous, which we'll talk about in a moment. Our face trace contour stick, which I used to be scared of contour,
Me too.
and I'm not. I can't leave home without it. And then our baby cheeks blush stick, which amazing because you can use it for your cheeks, for your lips, and it's just a really good on the go. So I'm gonna actually go with contour first.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do some
Let's
contour.
get a little extra added dimension. And you don't be afraid of this, you guys. Like Gucci took something like so intimidating and just like the name, face trace, just go in and trace it directly on your face where you know you want that extra depth and dimension. So cheekbone, like right under your cheekbone. You want to make sure that when you're pulling it in, don't pull it in too far, like past the eye, because you don't want to pull the face down. Sides of the nose. I like a bit underneath my lip to kind of add a little bit of a poutiness, jawline, but it's so simple and easy to use that you truly could blend it out with your fingers.
No, it's so ridiculous how easy it blends. Did you guys see that? I just went back. You can do it with your face. You can do the side of your nose. I have a very large forehead, so I like to make sure to put a little bit up there as well. And actually this tone, I'm in the kind of medium tan shade range. So truffle can also actually be used as my bronzer shade, simply because it has like a little more of that terracotta. So I'm going to put a little bit onto the cheek as well to give myself some bronze. But you can see how easy that was, and that it really just created so much more shape to the face. And I even did it on my jawline. So this is one that is really easy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I love that like
And
you showcased it blending out with the foundation brush, and I showcased it just with my fingers. So again, to that question of like, what's your makeup bag must have, you know that you can immediately give yourself back that color and that dimension, but also be able to blend it out in a moment, which is, oh my gosh,
so
you
easy.
look so beautiful. My
Oh,
goodness.
I gotta go out tonight now. I'm
Gonna say,
like,
I wish
woo,
that we
here we go.
lived in the same city so that we could go out together tonight. We are
Okay,
both ready.
so this little we call this like it's like a flash facial in a little stick. So it's our lit up highlight stick. And I have to say, everyone in my life is absolutely obsessed with this stick because everybody goes through this, I think, the quickest because it's almost like addicting to put it on your face. You are get such a beautiful instant glow, and it's so easy. It gives like your skin this gorgeous refresh as well. I use it sometimes as a lip balm.
I just put the brulee on my lips and I love it. It's one of my favorite tones for the lips, and it actually gives you, you know, a good bit of color. And when I am not wearing, so I'm using brulee, everybody. I'm using the shade brulee, which is this gorgeous, beautiful kind of bronze tone, but truly is for all skin tones. So you can be the fairest of the fair and wear this brulee, or you can be the deepest of the deep. Because it has that like clear base. So you can just see that it's going to give that skin that beautiful glassy glow, and truly is versatile for all skin types. Sometimes when it's a day off and I just want to feel like I have a little bit of color to the skin, I love brulee for that because I can just pop some on my cheeks, pop some on my lips, and feel like I
That
have.
one went viral when Hailey Bieber was putting it on.
Oh,
Everybody was like dying for brulee. I actually used some nectar. Nectar is kind of like this really glassy, kind of peachy tone, which is really pretty. Gives just like the slightest bit of a peachiness in terms of the skin, but it is clear base, so you do see right through to the skin, which is absolutely gorgeous. So and you know, a little hack when I get my flyaways too. I'll even like use a little bit on the
oh, that's
flyaways.
so I've totally done that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, why is my hair so frizzy? Like,
I
oh
know I just need like a
wow.
body size to like apply it all over the body. But
Yeah.
this
And
one is for sure your makeup bag must have. I mean,
yeah.
everybody needs this in their bag.
Absolutely. And now we've sculpted, we've added that contour, we've added a little bit of glow. Now we're going to add a little bit of color. So we're going to go in with our Baby Cheeks blush sticks. We have this in 6 different shades. I'm going to use the shade Petal. Fun fact, Petal is actually our #1 selling shade, and it's also the name of David and Gucci's youngest daughter. So it was inspired by like the tones in her lips. So I love that it is our bestseller. But with these Baby Cheeks blush sticks, again, they can also be worn on the lips and on the cheeks. And with this, you can apply directly to your cheek or go in with our baby blender brush. So with this, on one side, I just drew it directly onto my cheek, and then I'm going to blend out with my baby blender brush. And Gucci
And
will
I'll
go,
do the opposite of you this time. I'll do my
okay.
fingers for this one.
Oh, perfect. I love it. Yeah, show that versatility. They really are so easy and simple to use. So again, with this, now I'm going to take a little bit to my cheek. And so this is one of the things. So I want to talk about this brush for just a moment. This baby blender brush is a blush brush. And, you know, so many times people think of blush brushes and you think a big, more kind of fluffy powder brush, but really Gucci wanted to create something that you could go in and give that targeted pop of color just to certain areas. So when using the creams, when using the sticks, the baby blender brush is such an amazing go-to. So again, I used the shade Petal. What shade did you use? It looks so pretty.
Okay, so I was kind of between Doo and Chouchette. And some of you guys might be like, where are these names coming from? But it's really cool. They're little French terms of endearment. So Gucci, you know, she actually went to school in Paris. She went to makeup school in Paris. And that's really where like her love of artistry and makeup happened. So you'll find a lot of our shades have a little nod to, you know, the French language. But I went with Chouchette. I thought that it might be a little too light for me right now, but I don't know. What do you
Beautiful.
guys think?
It's soft,
Do I
it's
need more color on
pretty.
my cheek?
No, I think on your cheek, no,
Yeah,
I think it looks beautiful, especially with, your eye being a little bit smokier, a little bit deeper. I think it's totally balanced, though you could totally pull off more color too. But it looks absolutely beautiful. And then just
this
as
is the
a
doo-doo.
reminder, oh yeah,
This is the
so
chouchette.
pretty.
The
We
chouchette is almost like a peachy, almost it has like a little bit of a peachy pink to it, peachy nude kind of color, which is really nice. Doo-doo is another really beautiful tone. It has a little
love
bit
to
more,
I have that here
a
too.
little more depth, which
Mhm.
is gorgeous.
And
So
then you can see that
there's so many fun shades.
compared to Petal, it's just like a little bit deeper with a little bit more of that kind of like mauve tone. And then to answer someone's question about are they all clear based? So the lit up highlight sticks would be. So the lit up highlight sticks are going to have that more of a like clear base, which is those iridescent pigments added and those natural pigments added. So again, on all skin tones, it is going to be flattering and beautiful. So it really just depends on what your mood is and what you feel like that day. So that answers that question. And then another question,
Yeah,
um,
here's Kendra. Kendra
yes,
was asking, she arrived a little bit late. She was asking, did we start with a primer? And I'm not sure if you meant for eyes or for the face, but just to give you like a quick little rundown, we started using with our skin, we came prepped with our activator, which is our serum, and it also really hydrates. It's an ideal base for our foundation as well. So we used our primer first, or sorry, our activator first, then our foundation. On the eyes, we did not actually prime. I like to sometimes just start off with using a little bit of my pressed powder, which is it's our Vital skincare.
I don't,
It has pressed skincare. It's our pressed skincare powder, and I like to just dust that over my eyes before doing uh, any kind of eyeshadow, just to kind of remove any oils that you might have on your lid. And then as you're setting your makeup, hit it on any little areas that you want to grab. Like if you tend to be a little bit shinier in these areas. I know that Denise, you kind of do it all over, right?
yeah, I do
You
because
kind of
I tend to get a little bit shiny all over. I run warm, so I like a little bit of setting powder all over. But I love how it takes away any unwanted shine, like especially right through here on my cheeks, I get pretty shiny. So I like that it gets rid of that unwanted shine, but I still have my gorgeous glow. So that's what I love
mm,
about it. And living here in Colorado, it is so dry here. And so sometimes I'm nervous about putting on powders because it accentuates texture or fine lines and I look a little dehydrated, where this is not going to do that. And I love that, for me, sitting in front of my computer screen, 8 hours a day, it's also blue light protective. It's got quinoa that helps to retexturize. So it is just such an incredible, incredible powder because it
and
doesn't
it's
look
so
like
cool to
powder.
be able to like set your makeup with skincare. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you're not just like powdering down your face. You're not just like eliminating oil. You're actually like setting your makeup with skincare. So
Yeah,
you're getting that additional boost, starting it.
absolutely.
The cool thing is all of our products are hybrids of skincare and makeup. So you're getting all of the good stuff while
Yeah,
you're, making your skin instantly look better. So it's the instant
absolutely.
as well as the long-term effect.
That's
Absolutely.
that's
Okay.
such a good point to hit. So we've come to the end. We would love any final questions from you guys before we let you go. I just also thank you so much everybody for joining. It's so much fun when we get to get ready with you guys. So we appreciate you being here and joining along with us. Hopefully you've been able to click through the link in your chat and get those items that you're wanting to try out for yourself as well. But we would love if there's any last minute questions, we'd love to answer them for you. This was so much fun. Thank you, Nordstrom. We love being here.
Questions about eye makeup. Again, just going back to all of those tips, we made sure that your eyeshadow isn't too far, far up close to the eyebrow. It makes it really easy to just follow the shape of your eyebrow when you're applying the eyeshadow, and then have fun with these pencils. I mean, these pencils
Yeah,
they're easy. You can get a clean line, you can smoke it out, you can kind of play around with them. Comes in the two shades. And I'll just show you guys again, we have our super, super noir black. And then we also have our really beautiful chocolatey run. So 2 different shades that are extremely versatile.
And then we had another question, will Westman Atelier be coming out with holiday sets around that time? As with every holiday, we love to introduce new, beautiful, exclusive items during the holidays. So keep a lookout for the holiday season with what's to come. Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you. We are, again, it's so much fun to spend the afternoon getting ready together. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, Nordstrom. We absolutely love this partnership. So thank you all for joining, and hope everyone has such a lovely and incredible rest of their day or evening, depending on where you're tuning in from.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Go
you.
go in, click into that chat, the link, click into the link, check out all of the different products we just talked about, and hopefully you guys will be, playing with some of these Westman Atelier products.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you so much.